Okay, so today I want to talk about why you're actually going to be better off in no relationship, especially when you're in business and you're on that self-improvement journey. And I'll break it down like this. So we can all relate to addictions. We know what they are. We've seen them. Maybe some of us have had an addiction, but addiction could be cocaine, it could be alcohol, it could be tobacco, it could be caffeine, sugar, whatever. And we know the dangers of addiction. And what you'll tend to find that in business, and particularly for men, women become an addiction and a major distraction. And essentially what happens, and I've seen this before, seen it firsthand, is that guys will lose complete focus on what they've been building, what it is they started their journey and this road to be on to achieve. And they'll throw that all away because they'll lose focus. And I'll break it down even further. So when you're on this self-development journey and you start in business, it's all about priorities and intent. And when you're chasing a woman, all she wants is attention and your time. So you're going in two different directions that are not going to get you the same results. If you want to move forward in business, you have to be very disciplined. You have to decide, right, what is it that I actually want? How bad am I prepared to make sacrifices to achieve my goals? And you're not going to do that playing both sides of the fence. And again, I've seen it so many times, and you've got to learn to be disciplined and stay focused on the task in hand. Because look, I get it, it's normal, it's part of life, and we have desires. But ultimately, when we're chasing after women, right, we're losing focus on what it is we need to be focused on. We're losing time where we need to spend it and that energy as well. And like I said, all women want to do is spend your time, spend your energy, spend your cash, and potentially move on to the next one. So ultimately, and I've seen this firsthand, I'm telling you, I've seen it with business partners and friends in business, and it's not going to work. And also as well, like when you are in a relationship, you have to set boundaries and expectations. You need to communicate that very early on in the relationship. Whereas, because if you are going to enter that danger zone, you got to look at it like, look, I've got a business, or I'm starting my entrepreneurship journey, and this is my number one priority. So if it was a child, a newborn baby, this is what it is. That takes precedent over anything else that I have going on in my life. That includes women as well. And you'll probably find less than 5% of women that'll actually be okay with that, because women do get a lot of attention, social media, DMs, etc. And it's easier to get attention from guys as a woman than it is the other way around. So if you're telling someone straight up from day one, before you even build a connection, that look, this is where I'm at, this is where I'm going, this is where you rank in that priority list, less than 5% chance of you getting a successful partner under those circumstances. So what I say is, what you're better off doing, avoiding the hassle, avoiding the challenges, park that to the side. Because like I said before, chase the money, and with the money will come success. Chasing success will come money and respect, status and power. And naturally, people are going to gravitate towards you. And the mistake you can't afford to make is getting addicted to toxic relationships. And we've all seen them. We've got friends, family members that have been through this. And it's such an energy drainer. And I'm telling you, when you had late nights and you're sleep deprived, you're stressed, you got bills to pay, you got to pay supplies, your staff, you've got emails, you've got legal issues, and it's just back to back to back. And the last thing you want at the end of the night, you just want to sleep on your bed, switch off, and let that be the end of that. The last thing you want is someone, chirping down your ear. They want your attention. You've been out all day. You've not spent any time with me, and all that sort of stuff, because it just pulls you into that pit. And it's a very, very, very selfish journey. So when people talk about, I want to be a business owner, it's not just because, you can drive the Porsches or whatever supercar you might desire. It's Are you prepared to make those sacrifices? Are you prepared to stay at home and stay away and build on your craft? And most of the time, the sexual desire for a woman will mess with your circuitry in your brain. And I'll refer this back to a book. So I read a book a little while back called, what was it called? It was, let me think what it was called. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll circle back to it. But basically what they were saying in the book is that, this is annoying me now. What's this book called? What was this book called? Think and Grow Rich. Right, there we go. So with the book, what they're basically saying is, if you want to be successful, you need to think and manifest, and obviously act out these actions as well. And they talked about two different types of supernatural powers and feelings that can get invoked, that can change the psychology of a human being. And number one, they talked about music and the impact it can have on a person in a positive way. And the second one was, they talked about sexual transmutation. So that's essentially where you're learning to change that desire that you'd use to chase a woman and then replace that with business. And this sounds a little bit awkward. It sounds a little bit unorthodox and counterintuitive. But if you think about it, how many guys do we know or friends do we have that they'll leave the house at 3 a.m. just to see a woman for 20 minutes? We all know that. And the logic and the brain processing is out the window. So what you want to do is change that shift of focus. So if your desire for success is just as great as it is for your desire for the opposite sex, you will be successful, no doubt. If you're trying to chase business and, get success as an entrepreneur, and you're going to have days where you're not making money, you've got problems to deal with, staff, suppliers, legal, whatever that looks like, that is just what it is. Business is solving problems. And if you can't hack problems, then you shouldn't be in business. You should just get a 9 to 5. But it's easier to then, shift your focus away, because when you're living the life, you're going to have people in your DMs. When you're traveling in the world, you're going to meet people. And believe me, I've been around the world and I've seen them all. There's beautiful women everywhere, different continents, different cultures, sizes, shapes. They're fascinating creatures. Let's not get it twisted what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is, it's so easy to lose focus on business by chasing a woman or even entertaining, that companionship, because it takes time. And that's not a luxury you have. If you can find a woman that you can sit down from day one, and this is exactly what you should do, and say, look, this is a situation, this is what I do, this is what I'm about, this is my priorities, I need you to be loyal, trustworthy, whatever your list looks like, write it down, maybe even put it in a document and get a signature at the end of it, and say, look, this is what I'm about, business will always come first, I'm on a building phase. When I'm with you, I'll be fully attentive, and let's just say we're going for a glass of wine or some dinner, right? We'll sit down, phones away. You've got 1 to 2 hours of my time. Let's make it count. And, if you can have that type of agreement with someone, then that will make sense and that can potentially work. But ultimately, you'll find less than 5% of women that will be prepared to adhere to that type of structure. So my advice is, especially when you're young, especially when you're building and, you've got a long way to go, focus on yourself. Don't get caught out by chasing women. And again, think about that book, Think and Grow Rich, and just skip straight to that chapter that I told you about and look how you can move that stimulation for money, for business, for power, for success, the same way you would chase a woman. So see if you can shift that across, and it's a very powerful tool if that's a feeling that you can master, because ultimately you'll become unstoppable. If you really want business that bad as you want to breathe, as bad as you want to, hook up with your favorite celebrity, what are they called? Crushes, then you will succeed. That's how bad you need to have it. You need to want it as bad as you want to breathe. And you can't deviate away from that attention. You have to focus solely on business. So again, I'm putting it out there. Do you really want to be in business? Are you really prepared to make these sacrifices? Are you going to be that disciplined, motivated, and laser functioned and focused? I don't know. But this is the challenges that you're going to face. And this is why I say you're better off not being in a relationship, especially whilst you're building. Get yourself set up, put all your energy and all your resources into your goal, reach that goal, and then obviously you'll be in a better position to negotiate relationships and set the benchmarks and the boundaries. Think about what I said, go back and check out that book, and till the next one.